Hey everybody, it's me again. So today I have some newborn tips and tricks for you. I have about 11 topics to talk about. So let's just jump right into it and start talking some tips and tricks. So first off, I want to start this off by saying you are definitely going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. It happens. You're gonna apologize to your baby. You're gonna apologize to your significant other. It's okay. Especially if you're a first-time mom. It doesn't matter, honestly. First-time mom, repeat mom, it doesn't matter. We all make mistakes. We're all human. It happens, and it's okay. So, tip number one, I'm going to start with feeding your baby before you leave to run errands. So if you try to time out running errands around feeding your baby, you're more likely to get things done a little bit better and faster than having to stop or pull over, feed the baby, listen to baby crying, anything like that. So if you plan on, your baby should be eating, if it's a newborn baby, it's usually, between that 2 to 3, maybe even 4 hours, just depending on how old your newborn is. So plan on, okay, baby just ate at 8 o'clock. Baby's going to eat again at, say, 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock you're going to do feeding, so let's plan to leave by, 11:30 or 12, depending on how long it takes you to do your feeding. Some babies are awesome and quick. They eat, they burp, they go to sleep, they're good. Some babies are difficult and it takes an hour or, a longer time. So just try to plan on when you go out and you're trying to run errands and take care of things, because we all know we have to. Plan your errands around your baby's feeding time. It's going to make those errands a little bit easier and faster. Tip number 2 is make sure that your diaper bag is packed with all your feeding needs, as well as like your clothes and things like that. So like for feeding, make sure you have 1 to 2 bottles. Make sure you have formula. A big one that I usually forget, make sure you have water to mix with that formula to make a bottle to feed your baby, if you're bottle feeding, of course. And then make sure you have a burp rag or some type of, cloth to wipe up if there is any kind of spit up or anything like that. Those are like the big things, but as far as feeding goes. But my biggest thing is I always kept forgetting like a bottle of water to leave in the diaper bag so that I can actually make the bottles when we're on the go. So with that being said, just make sure that when you're packing your diaper bag, you have all your necessities for when you go out for the day, including feeding. Another kind of trick off of that tip is keeping the diaper bag in your car. There's really no reason to bring it back inside your home every time you come home. And that'll help you with making sure that you have everything you need already in the diaper bag when you leave that day. It'll also help with once you're loading up your child, you're not also carrying a diaper bag around as well. Because, it's in the car, which you're using to leave in, so why not just keep it in the car? Tip number 3 is don't be afraid to ask for help. Let dad, let family, let, brothers, sisters, whoever you have around you, whatever support, family, friends, significant other that you have, let them help out, especially dad. You definitely want dad involved. You want dad to be able to make his own mistakes. You want him to learn. Abigail, come here. Come here. You want dad to be able to learn his own way as well, so that he is, learning right along with you, helping out with the baby and all that good stuff. So don't be afraid to ask for help. That was one of my downfalls. I was really bad at asking for help. But don't be afraid to ask for help. Tip number 4 is going to be a whole tip on nighttime feeding. So this is what I do, and this just seems to work out really well for me. So I try not to fully wake up my baby at night. Obviously, I don't want them to wake up, be engaged, and, stay awake for the next hour or two, because I'm sure I was already sleeping and everybody else is sleeping, so, everybody wants to be able to get some decent sleep at night. With a newborn, it's not impossible, you're just not getting a solid like 8 hours like you used to kind of thing. So try not to fully wake up your baby. Don't make it like a playtime or engaging time. Don't really talk to your baby. You really want to save that for daytime when you want them to understand being awake is a good thing. And I mean, I don't discourage talking to your baby ever because that's how they learn and everything. But if you want to be able to get some sleep and you want that baby to go back to sleep, try not to do it at night. Try not to do all the engaging things at night. So when baby wakes up, my baby is right now eating 4 ounces. He is just under a month old right now. And so what I do is he eats 2 ounces, then I burp, then we change his diaper. That kind of helps him wake up because typically after about 2 ounces, he's like, okay, I'm satisfied enough. But I know if I let him go back to sleep only eating that 2 ounces, he's going to wake up in like an hour and a half or so instead of the normal 3 to 4 hours. It's going to be like half the time. So I'll change his diaper. That kind of wakes him up a little bit. Once I'm done changing his diaper, I'll get him back swaddled up because my baby loves sleeping swaddled. It really helps him. I definitely encourage trying that to see how your baby does with it. Not all babies love to be swaddled. Most of them do. It's kind of how they felt in the womb, just kind of all like tucked in and everything. So it reminds them of that. But I had my first couple only love to be swaddled from like the waist down. If their arms were tucked in, they were not happy. So not every baby loves to be swaddled, but you know, listen to your baby and see what works for you and your baby. So I'll change baby. I'll get baby swaddled back up, all nice and comfy. By this time, he's like awake, but not like fully alert and awake. So then I have the other 2 ounces. He gets to eat that. I burp him, I lay him down, and typically he goes right back to sleep. We don't have any problems or issues. For tip number 5, it's going to be keeping diapers and wipes close to wherever the baby is sleeping at night. So if baby is in their own nursery, you probably already have diapers and wipes pretty handy there. If baby is sleeping next to your bedside, but you have like a whole room set up for where all their stuff is, at least bring over a couple diapers and a pack of wipes at night, or have like a little caddy kind of thing that you can bring over at night. That way, in the middle of the night, you're not having to run to a different room or anything like that. You have everything you need for your night right there wherever baby is already sleeping. Tip number 6. This is more of a daytime one. Don't make everything super quiet, especially if you have other kids. I have other kids. I have 2 toddlers and 2 older boys. My 2 toddlers scream around, run around, play, laugh, you know, all day long. They're toddlers. It's expected. And usually with a newborn baby, a lot of people think, oh no, shh, 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 be quiet, right? No. If you don't do that, you don't have to worry about that. And see, my newborn, he actually, because they can hear in the womb, especially once you're further along, if they're already accustomed to that type of environment when they come out, then you're good to go, which is exactly what happened for me, thankfully. So he already heard his older brother and sister, you know, screaming and running around and stuff like that when he was in my belly. So coming out, it wasn't that much of an adjustment or change or anything like that. And I didn't change anybody's routine or, you know, what they did or anything like that. So during the day, my toddlers can run around, play, scream, laugh, whatever they're going to do. And it's not going to really interfere with my newborn still getting his sleep that he needs during the day, even being in the exact same room of them. So I don't keep anything quiet during the day. I don't tell anybody to hush or, you know, be quiet or, you know, baby sleeping, nothing like that. And at night I do. At night we try to do like a wind down time where everybody just kind of starts settling down and calming down. And then, you know, eventually the lights are out, everybody's going to sleep kind of thing. So the nighttime is quiet, the daytime is not. Tip number 7 is don't Google your concerns. Don't scare yourself or get yourself all worked up by looking up something on Google that you may not understand. Maybe it's not what your baby's going through, or maybe it's a symptom of something, but your baby doesn't have whatever you're looking at, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So always refer to your pediatrician. That's what they're there for. And most pediatricians that I know have like an after call or after hours call thing that you can call their office and you'll be directed to somebody you can speak with. You can kind of let them know what's going on. Hey, it's an emergency. Hey, I'm worried. Hey, whatever. I need to talk to my pediatrician. And typically they'll direct you straight to their personal line, and you can physically talk to your physician in the middle of the night and be like, hey, I'm concerned. Should I take baby to the hospital, or what should I do? My pediatrician specifically told me, don't ever take the baby to the hospital. Call me first, and then we'll decide together if it's serious enough, or if maybe you're overreacting or you're not understanding what's actually going on, kind of thing. So I love that my pediatrician was open and told me that. And I hope that all of the other pediatricians out there are doing the same thing. But if they're not, just know you should be able to get a hold of them. That's their job. That's what they're there for. That's what they wanted to do. So take advantage of that so you can feel good and better about whatever is going on with your baby. My baby had a super bad rash on his face, and I was freaking out because he's the only one that ever rashed out that bad with like the baby acne. And I didn't know, because this was the first time that I was actually producing any type of breast milk to give him any breast milk. I didn't know that it was actually caused by my hormones. So the hormones he was getting out of my breast milk caused him to rash out. And I got really worried because none of my other babies went tip number 11 is using a tracking app. And I'm going to show you the one that I use. It's the one that I really like. I've never actually used this one with any of my other kids, but I hated every time I went to the pediatrician's office, especially with the first, like 1 or 2 kids I had. I didn't really track. I wasn't really good at tracking their feedings and, diaper changes and sleeps and things like that. I really just was not good at tracking any of that. And they would ask me, oh, is your baby getting at least, X amount of ounces a day? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure, and it sucks feeling like, oh, I don't actually know. So I recommend using a baby tracking app, and that's going to help you with tracking like the feedings and the diapers and all that stuff if you care about the extension of the feedings. But even if you use it just for the feedings, then it's awesome. But I'm going to show you around this app. This app is actually really cool, and I love it. I can't believe I didn't use this app or something like it with all my previous kids, but this one has definitely been awesome. Right up here in the corner would be the check mark to be able to log that for the day. So you just click check, and that'll log it into your daily activities for your baby. So when I click on formula, though, I don't use the nursing or the pumped, just because I don't breastfeed. I use the formula one. So I click on formula. I click on, the time if I need to make an adjustment, because I like to be as accurate as possible. So if he started feeding at 3 o'clock, I like it to be 3 o'clock. And then you can make your adjustments on ounces here. So if your baby's only eating 2 ounces, if maybe they're eating 2.5 ounces, whatever the ounces are, you can log it right there. And then it says today's date there. Oops. And then over here, use this little guy again. Over here, you can actually set an alarm. So if you click on there and you want to actually have your alarm go off, however often you're usually feeding your child, then you can do that. Or if you're the type of person that is like really strict about making sure that your baby is eating at the specific time that the pediatrician's saying, so every 3 hours, then, you can utilize that alarm. That way you can make sure that it's alerting you that, it's time to feed again. The next section is going to be the diapers. So right here, it'll give you these different options. So wet, dirty, mixed, or dry. I don't really know why the dry one's there. I don't assume that anybody's changing a dry diaper, but I don't know. So that's another really cool little log feature that, if you want to log it and make sure. Typically, most people change their baby's diaper every time that they feed. And that's why you get that 6 to 8 diaper changes a day, because that's typically how much your baby should be eating as well, is between that 6 to 8. I've been really bad about logging the sleep, so you'll see like this is all messed up in that section. But when you click on it, when you first click on it, it says fell asleep. So this is the time that the baby fell asleep. If you just click that check mark in the top right corner, it logs what time they fell asleep, and then you would have to click back on here. Oh, but a minute hasn't passed yet, so I can't click back on there yet. So if you see right here, it says fell asleep now. If a couple minutes passes and I'll click back on that, it'll show you that, this is the time they fell asleep. This is the time that they woke up. Again, I'm really bad about logging the sleep. I've typically been logging the formula for the most part, or formula is the biggest part. And then I try to log the diapers, but I don't always. So you'll see when we go to the review of that, how that looks on my thing. Now in this section here, this is the breastfeeding section. I didn't really get to play around with it too much because, again, I only breastfed for a little bit. I didn't produce a whole ton, but I did produce more than I ever have. So he did get a little bit, enough to cause his baby acne, but not enough to continue going. But when you click on this section here, then it'll give you all the breakdown of the time you started, the amount that you pumped. It actually shows a little inventory here, and the reason it shows that is because I never actually clicked on the formula section and typed in that I was giving him breast pumped milk. So it never deducted that from there. But if you do that correctly, then it will actually show the right amount of inventory versus what you're logging. And then you have the start side. So if you started on the left or the right, you'd click it. The pump, so if you're pumping just left, just right, or both, you have that there, and then you can write your notes down here again. And then the bottom section is probably my favorite section, just because you have like the growth. So right in here, I am trying to make sure to log this every time we go to the pediatrician, so I know how much he's gained weight, if he's gotten taller, things like that. I love that idea. The milestones, so if you click that and click on select milestones, this gives you a whole list of like their first things. So like they held their head up steady, they're babbling, they're laughing, maybe they slept through the night for the first time. And you would be able to keep all those milestones in this little app, which is amazing. Then you have the little activity section. Again, you click activity, click on select activity. So right in here, did you give your baby a bath? Did you do some tummy time today? Did they have TV time? Did you do story time? You know, what activities happened today, kind of thing. And it's a really good thing to help get you in a habit of like a schedule if you're a little chaotic and you need that structure as well. It happens. And then you have the joy, which is just really taking pictures and logging your pictures in here. Then you have the temperature. So if you want to log the temperature of your baby, if you're concerned if they were just running a fever, you want to make sure that it's running down. It'll show you what time you logged it. It's awesome. And then you can log in the temperature time there, or the temperature. Here's the medication, and when you click on that and you click select medication, this is actually everything that I inputted. So when he got his circumcision last week, I came in here and I added Tylenol because I gave him Tylenol for the pain, and it shows, you know, how often, so the amount of hours, which is what I put here for the amount of hours. This is the amount that the pediatrician told me to give him, and I just wrote a little note in here just saying as needed for pain for the circumcision, and then this is the actual medication that he had gotten. And then back in here, so this is the vaccine section. You can select a vaccine, so it already has all the typical ones in there that you can log as well. If there's a different vaccine that's not listed, it's super easy to add it just right here at the plus sign right here at top. Yeah, this app is pretty amazing. And then from there, so this will show you, or that shows you how to log everything. And if you click here on review, so just in case maybe you didn't see where I clicked, so right here is review, and that'll give you your daily breakdown. So I'm going to click that, and that's going to show me, so it goes from midnight to midnight. So since midnight, my son ate at 3:36 a.m. He had 3 ounces. He ate again at almost 7, 2 ounces, and that's when we changed his diaper. And then almost 10 o'clock, he had 2 more ounces. 2 o'clock, he had 4 ounces. And then this was just us messing around with that little section of the sleeping. So, and then right up here at the top area, you'll see that it shows you how many ounces he's had for the day, if it's pumped, if it's formula, those different things there, how many times his diaper's been changed today, which again, that's not accurate because I am not the best at logging the diapers. I've just been really on top of the bottles and the formula feeding so that I can tell my pediatrician how many ounces he's getting every day. And then this will log how much he slept, which again, that's not accurate because he has definitely slept more than 4 minutes since midnight. And this will show you how much you've pumped for the day. So with that, then from there, you have like this chart that I've played around with, and that's going to be like the growth chart or like the feeding charts, things like that. So it'll show you just kind of like a breakdown in chart form. Average per day, 7 feedings, how many times the diaper's being changed, average sleep, and then just all the little graphs down here. All right, everybody, so that is my 11 tips and tricks for a newborn. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you find that app helpful, that is on an Android. I don't know if it's the same on Apple or not. I would assume that they have something similar, if not the exact same thing. But that one, I use Android, so that's the one that I have on my Android phone. So, but if you like that app, then go to your Play Store or however you do it in Apple and get it downloaded for you so that you can use it. I find it very helpful. It's very useful for me. I typically don't log the ones that my husband takes care of too, because he does help me a lot in the middle of the night. So there are some times that I don't get all the logging done at night. But again, you saw the walkthrough of everything, and it's super helpful. I hope that this video was informative for you, and if there's anything else that I can answer about newborns, then let me know. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if there was something I missed, something that you need to know about, something you want to know about, or something that maybe didn't work for you or does work for you. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you do like this video, also consider subscribing to my channel. I've been doing a lot of motherhood, newborn type stuff right now, and I plan to continue with that stuff for the time being, and eventually my channel will grow into other stuff as well. But for now, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!